Alright, everyone. That's about all.
Peace out. Actually, my opening comment is that the cringiest thing you can have somebody call a grandma is Gaga. Like, that is the cringiest, puts like a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I mean, Gigi is bad.
Oh yeah, so we're playing Sonic Heroes today.
It's one of the most banging soundtracks.
Yeah. It's a lovable mess of a game. I left it going so that we could watch the opening cutscene or opening here. But yeah, there's a reason why Sega uses a lot of this game's soundtrack even to this day at times. And of course, as you know, this was the first multi-platform Sonic game. Or you know what I mean, like it was the first.
Really?
Well, like in terms of not being exclusive to one system.
I mean,
like before this, after they weren't just Sega anymore, and PC, it was before this it was just like Nintendo. So now this was the first game to be on something other than just Nintendo, or you know. So
I'm not sure why that shot was 2 frames a second, but overall, I don't know why the rain looks like it belongs on the Dreamcast, but other than that, the cutscene graphics do look pretty good.
So yeah,
they're stylized. Everybody's got like a weird skin texture. I think this should be a little more of a fur texture, but we'll let it slide.
Yeah. It's Shadow the Hedgehog is where they really did well with the CGI.
The CGI?
The CGI. And I still to this day think that Shadow the Hedgehog gets too much hate. More than it deserves, I mean.
That was it's still a mess of a game, though.
Oh, it was a mess, yeah, sure. I mean, it sure was, but I'm just saying that we'll start with let's see, wait a minute. We'll start with number 2 here, and then...
No, the Secret World Peace was an essay file.
And yeah, and then we're gonna listen to.
This is single player mode.
No.
I'm joking. So first we're going to.
No one likes Omo Chow.
Everyone loves Omo Chow. Why else would they have included him in?
See, Darth Maul was cool in every way. That's why George Lucas had to kill him in Star Wars Episode 1, because it was distracting us from the trade disputes. Everybody knows this game was fun, so they had to put an Omo Chow so you could know hints for the game.
Yeah.
Let's blast through with Sonic speed.
Okay. Alright.
You know what I want to look for when we're at the store today? Polar Express on the GameCube.
Oh yeah.
That'd be funny to play.
Because what'd they call her?
Oh, Geraldo gonna do what Geraldo done do did. Freaking Brutal Moose.
Yeah.
Like, his first good video was Lego Island, but that was his first masterpiece. Was his review of the Polar Express, which I've actually still never seen.
I used to have it on Game Boy Advance.
I mean, I've never seen the movie.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
I thought you have, and that's why you didn't like it.
No, I've never actually seen it. It just looked dumb.
It's not...
Granted, I was like in middle school when it came out, so I wasn't allowed to like it.
You were too cool for school.
I was way too cool for school.
Like Knuckles there, he says, no worries, we got this one.
Okay, I need some help working on something. We have the term bros before hoes, but I need another version. I'm trying to figure out a way to say brats before thoughts. You know, brats being bratwurst.
Yeah.
So you somehow have to like tie a barbecue to it, but yeah, brats before thoughts.
Yeah. So if you all are wondering why I'm not playing this on like the 360, even though it's compatible with the 360, that's because the CGI cutscenes look really terrible on the Xbox version.
Some say they run like booty.
They run like boot. It's not the boot, it's the booty. By the way, Knuckles thinks this is just a bunch of bull. I know, I had a really lame joke there to make. Because everyone thinks he sounds like... Wait. Yeah, so... Just imagine some parents like at the... I'm surprised...
Iris!
I'm a little surprised our parents didn't say anything about the fact that it sounded like that.
They weren't paying any attention.
They probably didn't pay attention. I remember at the time when I was like... I think we were both still in elementary school. That's when we finally got like Tekken 3. It had been out for a few years at that time, but like...
Tekken 3...
It's still one of my favorite Tekken games, if not my favorite Tekken game. We're gonna do the bonus, possibly do the bonus stage here just to get more lives, just in case. Not saying this game is too hard, but you do have some messed up moments. Like I said, it's a lovable mess of a game, so. But Shaw, remember that one? That was so stupid. Okay, so right there was a slowdown, so we should definitely say this whole game is bad now.
I like this game.
I do too. That's why I'm playing. That's why we're playing it. But like I said, I understand why people wouldn't like this game as much. I get it, but like, all right. So people who say that's just, oh my gosh, one of the worst Sonic games, they're just stuck in their days.
Oh
so.
no, worst Sonic games or any of them with the boost formula. I can't stand
Trust
the boost
me,
formula.
there are worse games than those, but you know.
Oh yeah, I mean Sonic Labyrinth maybe.
Yeah, but I mean like, okay, so
I have a stick up my butt about boost formula.
Here's my thing about boost formula.
It's not good. It's just like it railroads the game so hard.
Well,
it's not as fun.
Here's
and Sonic Adventure 2 did it right.
Here's my thing about Sonic Unleashed was like the first game to really use that in 3D, I guess you could say. I didn't have to do that. I just wanted to.
Chaos Blast. What do the keys do?
Blisters.
I can't remember what the keys are for.
Well, in the first stage of each zone, it's a bonus stage just to get more lives and stuff.
Yeah.
In the second one is where you get the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, so it's like the friggin'...
Ah, shoot.
Well,
see, like I said, there's a mess up.
I know I've gotten the Chaos Emeralds before. I just haven't really played this since we were teenagers.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while. But like... So it's kind of like how you would have to get, 50 rings? Or no, it's like how you have to get the secret ring in the second stage in Sonic 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a reason that they decided not to have like little kids voice Tails anymore after this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the idea. I get it. But, like, they had to keep changing. I mean, well, they've changed his voice
yeah,
anyway,
I mean, that's the thing about, especially young boys, unless you get a girl to do a little boy's voice, you have to keep changing him after, like, 2 iterations of whatever the entertainment is, because he gets puberty.
Yeah, I know. Well, unless they have the character
his voice goes from this to freaking this. Okay, what?
I didn't realize at first that Finn from Adventure Time was actually voiced by a boy, and that's why he sounded older. I guess Finn was also getting older or something. They just
yeah, well, I mean that works if you can time that. I love how that sun was more like a sheet, like that ray of sun.
Yeah.
Shaw.
Now, yeah, you could say that like people who may be saying about the boost formula thing, saying like, well, you're so automated here, why blah blah blah, but like
this is a temporary section. And it's not part of the core gameplay.
Yeah, like I know there's a lot of automation right now.
Yeah, there is a fair amount of automation
in a lot of Sonic games.
In this one in particular, but there's still a lot more freedom. Like when you walk around without that, your freedom is pretty good. There's nothing feeling like you have to go forward.
Yeah.
Like I'd say probably the last Sonic game with really good controls. Oddly enough, with Sonic 06, because it was still free.
Yeah. I wouldn't say the controls were completely tight. There is. Here's
I didn't say they were tight, but like they had the control style that's better.
Yeah. Well, what I'm gonna say about Sonic 06 is if we ever play that,
I would love someone to mod that game into completion.
well, there kind of is right now. There's a project. I can't remember if it's called Project 06 or PO6, something like that. And they're actually working on a lot of like fixing a lot of the problems that Sonic Heroes, that Sonic 06 had, other than the story. You know, I mean, except for the story, I should say.
People that are not fans of it, they're just gonna say it's no use.
Yeah.
It's no use.
But so they've
How do
proven.
kids use these controllers? These are big for my hands.
Well, what about the Duke controller? What we refer to as the Duke controllers now? That was the first
The
Xbox.
Duke controller was big gay.
It was like ginormous.
I mean, that's like, I got small hands for my height. That's true.
Yeah. But anyway, so if we ever get to Sonic 06, I will say right now, folks, I don't think it deserves all the hate that it gets, but I'm not saying it's a good game. I'm not saying it's a good game. I'm just saying I don't think it's nearly as bad as people make it out to be.
Oh man.
Alright, so hold the dash button. Don't keep pressing it.
Which
like
one's the dash button? Oh.
X. Now I know it does that, but just hold it because it actually. These were pretty bad. I mean, because they tried to copy Sonic 2's special stage. I swear, just about every other Sonic game that had a special stage after 2 tried to copy 2, even though 2 sucked.
And I think 3 had the best special stages.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like...
I see what they were doing with these. I'm so bad at this. I do not remember it, like, kind of forcing you.
Yeah.
It's like...
Hold the X button.
Yeah,
Here come the chow.
I mean, I feel like...
Watch out for when they throw those.
It's like left and right. You just, like, tap it.
Yeah.
And you go flying.
Yeah. So supposedly, from what I've heard, supposedly when Sega was having the developers work on this game, supposedly what they did was they said, as long as you can finish the level and it doesn't break the game, just leave it in. Don't worry about some of the glitches that
What the heck?
Yeah.
Why did I just like slow down?
Well, we'll just.
I haven't even been holding X this whole time.
I don't know.
oh, okay, I'm out of boost. How? I barely used it.
Leave it to me.
I've done this level so long. Oh gosh.
Now you can use shackles.
I'm like Sonic, I don't shuckle. What are links?
Hit Y. Links are those things you're hitting, I think. No, it's the green guy. It's Zelda from Zelda.
Wait, so you're saying the development team was told that these pipe levels, as long as they don't break?
No, like the games, all the levels basically. They said as long as you can beat it.
As long as the level can be beaten.
Yeah.
Is that where there's that one really terrible mansion level with the friggin' Team Chaotix? Because no one tested that level?
Probably. I mean, like, they tested it to a point, but
I mean, those levels are a neat idea. Like, like how they're, like, different.
Yeah, that was a problem back in the day, was that whenever they would rush these, even more,
But they rush them now.
That's true. They just don't have good ideas now. Well, also games take longer to make now.
Pause it now.
Oh
yeah, I forgot what the start button was on these controllers.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I did not use these controllers very much.
Well, we played them when we played Halo and stuff. When we first got our X. We first got it was my Xbox, but like.
Oh, it was you freaking special.
Well, because I was the one who like used my money to get it. Anyway, we got the original Xbox in 2008. We also got the 360 in 2008, but that was like later on that year. It was like because we got this in like the sun. Well, not this specific one. I mean, this is a different Xbox, but we got
Hold hands for safety.
we got the original Xbox in 2008. What that was like? What 7 years after it originally came out, or almost 7 years? You missed a checkpoint. Yeah, that was one problem with the speed characters, that like you turn and it's just a really sharp, you know, like you just, they're hard to control when you're trying to turn to the side. Now, in some ways, Boost Formula does improve upon that, but another way, but it's just the problem with Boost Formula is it's too automated. Now, that's in Sonic Unleashed and stuff. In Sonic Generations, it's a whole lot less automated. Well, it feels a whole lot less automated. It felt like there was a little more freedom and it was more defined and stuff at that point.
Sonic Titerations.
But then, like,
we're gonna F up this time. And next we played Sonic Junior. Mommy, I think I might have been a very insist. Who made this game?
Anyway, so going back to this game in general, I remember like there's a
no. Why did it? Why?
Because as long as you can beat the level, it's fine.
Oh.
But anyway, so I noticed that in this game, like everyone seems particularly, and for the most part, happier. So like even Team Dark seems to have a more happier tone to them.
Yeah,
even Shadow.
And that's fine.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, this seems to be like the happiest that Shadow's ever been in a Sonic game.
I actually have serotonin. I'm feeling this strange thing. It's called joy.
Yeah. Now, here's the problem with like what Sega's been doing with Shadow. They seem to have mistaken Shadow for being. Well, of course, they made a lot of the characters one note eventually with the writing team they had.
Yes, because they all had so much depth before.
Well, I mean, they really did. When you actually analyze the cutscenes of like previous Sonic games.
Well, I would say maybe like Sonic Battle actually had some depth.
Well, yeah, and the comics, obviously.
Games where they were comics got freaking weird. They're just like, yeah, like got this alternate future where Sonic going in the past has screwed up the world and the weather's getting bad and friggin' Sonic married Sal and Tails married some freaking mongoose and I don't know, some other kind of bullcrap's going on. And yet I like it.
Yeah.
And then
so
they de-roboticized people, but Sonic's dad was so injured before the process he can't be de-roboticized, so, you know, Mama Hedgehog's gonna have to deal with a robot for the rest of their lives. I'm not sure, she may leave him.
well, she could just shut him down, but I mean...
What the heck?
Anyway, so, Shaw. This turtle. I like turtles.
Well, at least he'll carry it and not us.
So I wouldn't use Knuckles as much, because this is the one where you have to like blast them and... Anyway, well, when it comes to being shot out of cannons, I'd mostly use Sonic or Tails. Anyway,
Okay, what kind of gay bullcrap is this? Okay. That's even gayer.
I mean, like I said, well, as I keep saying, it's a mess of a game. But it's a lovable mess of a game.
See, I've decided that instead of using, you know, offensive terms like calling somebody gay, I'm going to use a term that represents gay, but without saying gay. So instead of saying that's gay, I'm going to say that's at high risk for monkeypox.
Andrew, that's offensive. We're going to cancel you.
Good. I'll wear that as a badge of honor. It'll be kind of funny, actually.
Where I was canceled, I'm proud.
Yeah. I'm canceled and I'm proud. Okay, I do not remember the GameCube version running like this.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that anyway, because I don't remember doing that on this version.
Oh, it's still going. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
For whatever reason. The GameCube version is the best version to play. It's
It
just the
runs
problem.
so beautifully.
The problem is GameCube discs.
I have never had a GameCube disc not work like that, so I think the whole rot thing is not going to be an issue for another 10, 15 years.
Well, yeah, it may not be, but also if you try to get a GameCube game today, they're usually way more expensive than their other versions, you know. Because I mean,
frick.
like you try to get this game on PS2.
Fun.
If you try to get this game on PS2, you might find it for like $10, $15. You try to get this version, usually around the same price, maybe like $20. If you try to get the GameCube version, I'm sure it's going to run you like around $30-something at least. And I used to think it was just because it was Nintendo and that's part of it, but also GameCube discs. I found out the reason was because of the disc rotting, and like they're rotting faster than other types of discs. So when they get the ones that do work, they're more expensive. And I was just, but also part of the reason I sold my GameCube copy of Sonic Heroes is because it didn't work on my Wii. It worked on my GameCube, but it didn't work on the Wii that I have.
My GameCube.
Well, I mean, the one I had, the one I had was mine. You have your own.
Knuckles, throw it at the others.
But I mean, the Wii was essentially GameCube 2.0, but you know. Because it didn't massively improve a lot of stuff, they just added motion controls. Now, there were some games that games made by Nintendo.
Hey, the Wii was just as powerful as the PlayStation 2.
Well, yeah. I'm not sure how it is that like the PS2 was more powerful than the GameCube, but like had not as good of graphics as the GameCube.
What's funny is hardware-wise, the Xbox actually was the most well-made, but it had the crappiest library.
I wouldn't say that. I would just say that it didn't really have a lot of good exclusives.
They still didn't have a great library.
Like
Anything back here?
Halo was great. Halo's great. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean you had like Halo.
But I've tried Blinks, the Blinks games, and they just
and stuff, but like that was it. I mean, they had some other good games, but those games were also further.
Well, one thing they wanted to do to try and really boost that library is when they bought Rare, and they hardly did anything with Rare. You know, at least when they got it, there was, let's see, all the original Xbox games by Rare. Which they were working on more, but but they had Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Conquer Live and Reloaded. I think that's it. That was the only games on the original Xbox that were made by Rare.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, I will say that now to be fair, the Xbox only had they only made exclusive games on it from like the time it came out to like 2001 to 2005. Because like in 2005 the 360 came out, so they focused on that, which they did actually pretty successful. And even though the PS3 did end up selling more than the 360 altogether, it took them many years to do that. Mr. Nutcracker.
I think you got that backwards, Doc.
What's up,
Faker,
Doc?
you're the faker.
Man, he's your one stubborn scientist.
I'm not ready to give up just yet.
That's the spirit, Tails.
Tails did seem more little kitty in this game. Like he felt more like how he was in the cartoons, where he was just the kid and wasn't smart. Wasn't smart like he is in the games, other than this one. Is that all you got?
I think Sonic Adventure 2 had the best iteration of Tails.
Had a pretty good one. It's just unfortunately the kid did not read his lines very well.
All
What do you mean? He didn't read his lines?
Well, he read his lines, but it was like he was reading them as he was talking.
He was recording as he was first reading.
Or in this game later on, it's a fake? Right. Ugh. So... Anyway, it's your turn to...
There's a picture, and it's like
Looks like Eggman
these
escaped into the city.
3 glasses and a bottle.
Are taking control of
It
everything.
says you can only drink one, and in return you will receive. And the one looks like water is the ability to fly. The one looks like milk is unlimited wealth. The one that looks kind of like grape juice is immortality. And the last one, which is just in a can of Dr. Pepper, you will receive a can of Dr. Pepper. And the guy drinking in the picture has the can of Dr. Pepper.
Good lord.
I don't know about no one else, but I'd rather be able to fly.
Yeah. I think that's like a general, like, every other person wants that power.
Yeah, because then I don't have to fly in a plane. I hate planes.
I've never flown in a plane yet, but
I can't. I don't like that feeling. But I mean, it's for the same reason I don't like roller coasters. So if you're okay with roller coasters, you should have no problem with the plane.
oh, okay.
I just
Well,
don't see eye to eye.
If it's a more safe, not carnival-like roller coaster, I'm fine with roller coasters. Or, you know, like a county fair type thing. Cause, okay, so I went to a county fair about a month, probably, gosh, a month ago now, at this point. Cool.
Okay, what was that?
The machines are sucking. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, what about Family Guy? What was that? Or like, what is that? Like, any Family Guy moment where it's what is that or what was that?
Yeah. So,
What's with this path? Just
I looked on my memories and stuff, and I saw where I posted a thing saying, which this still rings true to this day, the Xbox 360, the Xbox Live on the Xbox 360 has a short attention span these days.
What does that mean?
As in, it does not want to stay online for a long time. Like we've always had problems before, but that's just because we had crappy internet. Now it's just the 360 just sucks with internet, with staying connected. I'm not saying we have a top-notch internet now, because we still have problems, but like, good lord. But anyway, so I remember hearing someone talk about, it seems like people who play the 3D Sonic games, like they talk so big about them, but then when they actually get back to playing them, that it doesn't feel as good or something like that. And I'm just like, that could technically be said about a lot of games.
I think about any game.
About any game. Which, the thing is that, like, I wouldn't keep coming back to these if they didn't feel good to come back to. And I'm not saying, again, well, you know what, I've said a lot in this video already, so this game has problems.
Look at all those
Eggman's robots. Yeah, that's become kind of a meme. We'll just a pointed out thing, but like,
look at all them there Eggman's robots.
yeah. But like, okay, so examples of games that I actually realized weren't as good as I remembered them. The Stitch game on PS2, which I didn't think it was that bad.
What, Experiment 66, like the prequel to
Yeah,
the movie?
yeah, it's supposed to be like like a prequel / alternate timeline type of thing.
What was different about the timeline?
The end. Okay, spoilers for this like 20-year-old game. In the Stitch game at the end, him and like his creator escape, and I think they head to Earth. I think that's what happens.
Oh.
And like there's just a lot of like different like changes to it and stuff. Now, I remember enjoying it very well as a kid, but I went back. Oh yeah, you gotta have oh no, they've already hit. For some reason it looked like it went off for a moment. Anyway, so Stitch, or Experiment 66 was, you play it now, and I played it now, and I realized how slippery the controls were. I'd be lying if I said I completely had a bad time. I didn't. But I could definitely tell that because I played newer games, I realized how flawed it is. Because I played games with better controls after that, I realized just how flawed that game is. So I can say, no, it's not that good. It's not as good as I remember it. But that doesn't apply to every single game. Like, I do think that, like...
Have you ever, maybe sometimes even?
Possibly.
Okay.
But anyway, you could do that.
I'm no tool. Okay, I am a tool apparently. What the heck? Why didn't he freaking get on the rings?
Because that's, I mean, it wasn't really until Shadow the Hedgehog when they really pulled off the, well, Sonic Adventure 2 had a better...
When the light boot started working?
Yeah, or with like the rings and stuff, yeah, the light dash.
Light dash is what it's called.
Now alright, Sonic Adventure 2 was better, but because this game's so slippery in general, so that's partially why it didn't work well.
It is a very slippery... Knuckles!
It
is a very slippery game.
Yeah.
The freaking special stage was so hard.
Yeah.
Wait, how did he do it the first time, not the others? What kind of balls is this?
Anyway, so I would understand to a degree that like why people wouldn't like the adventure games too, but I don't think they deserve as much hate as they get. That can be said about a lot of these Sonic games.
Dude, how do I unlock this guy?
I don't think they deserve. Like I think they deserve criticism. I don't think they deserve as much hate as they get.
Games that still use boost formulas deserve criticism.
Well, like now the boost formulas have gained their fans, but like the only game that was really good with it was Sonic Generations.
Sonic Generations.
But anyway, but this game, you know, it has its flaws. I would understand if people didn't like it, but again, I don't think it deserves like a lot of hate. I don't think it deserves. Let me put it this way: there's people that absolutely love this game, and I do too. But like, I don't think it like.
Tab-S Sonic.
Tab-S
Sonic is Sonic 2.
I wouldn't call it like, you know, obviously no game is objectively better, but I wouldn't call this one of those like so good that you could just say that. It's not objectively the best Sonic game. It's far from that, but it's a really good one. Like when you get
that here's a good one.
That here's a good one. In the Sonic games, it's one of those things that people refer to as the Sega learning curve, where there were a lot of Sega games.
I think Kitty wants in here.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, there are a lot of Sonic games or Sega games that took a few tries to really get used to it, and when you get used to it, it's really good.
No more Kitty?
No, he's not there anymore.
Huh.
Anyway, so that's the thing about a lot of Sonic games, is that it's a learning curve thing. Now, I'm not saying that just because you learn everything about a game that doesn't automatically make it good, but in Sonic's case, that's a lot of times, like, because when I first played Sonic games, like Sonic Advance and stuff, I mean, I had issues with it, but, I mean, I was also a kid, but, like, once I got used to everything, and, like, learned more, and was growing up and wasn't a poopy baby dumb kid.
Poo-poo stinky. Wait.
Poo-poo stinky. I don't know.
It's poo-poo stinky caca. That's what it is.
Yes.
Made an oopsie.
Yeah.
That's something like that. Styx refers to it.
Yeah. So like after I learned all that, these games became really fun. Like even the adventure games. Like I used to just play the adventure games for the Chow Gardens. But once I learned how to really play the game in general, I now like it for more than just the Chow Gardens. It's like Sonic Adventure 2 is one of my favorite games.
You like it for the Chow Gardens and the Chow Playgrounds.
Oh, you probably have to kill. Oh no, the Switch is right there. The Nintendo Switch. No. Anyway.
Freaking yay!
So I noticed.
Freaking at high risk for monkeypox.
So for some reason, those things aren't as detailed as in the GameCube version, like those orange lines that go up to open up the door. For some reason, like in the GameCube version, you can see like bubbles and stuff.
When grinding,
And that, to me, that says more detail, unless they didn't mean for those bubbles to show up for some reason. But then why would they be there? Anyway,
You know what? I'm not going that way.
you're gonna do the alternate. You're gonna do alternative. And now you're invincible because you're better than everyone else.
I'm freaking. Aren't there specials back there?
I can't add a special.
Like, I don't know, hidden something?
I can't remember. There may be hidden lives or something. I'm not sure.
Whee!
So anyway, that's how I feel about this game. Is that like once you get used to everything, still not. It's still not. It still doesn't feel the best, but it's still. It's really fun to play.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the best. It needs medication.
Rolling around at the speed.
Funning around at the speed of
Oh, they're
sound.
just all of a sudden all just flew away.
Oh, fly away, oh, go. Oh, come on. Gosh, I wish the light dash was a little more responsive.
Yeah, I remember I used to do that. I remember getting this for my birthday, and I remember at the time I was switching between playing this game and playing Ratchet and Clank Going Commando.
I want to replay Prince of Persia on the Game Boy Advance.
You gotta find it first.
I know,
no problem.
See, Sonic's optimistic. See, here's the thing. People say, like, well, Sonic was always cocky and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, well, he was still cocky in these games, but he had a lot of heart in these games, too. Like, his character, like, actually felt like he cared about the other characters and all his friends and stuff. And I think there's a misinterpretation now that he doesn't. I mean, heck, the movie Sonic got it better than, you know. Though I feel like,
What a wild ride.
so according to, I forgot who it was that was talking about this on Oni Plays when they were actually playing this game. Supposedly, this may not be 100% true, by the way. There could have been a misunderstanding with them, but supposedly the guy who made or helped work on the comics, and he was the one who came up with like the like Princess Sally and all those other characters and stuff. Supposedly the only reason they haven't had like Sally and all them in these like games and like other future projects and stuff like that is because the guy basically took the rights to them, and Sega was going to go to court. Sega and Archie were going to court to say these are our characters. But supposedly they forgot to bring like papers or something, they forgot about something, and the court ended up going in favor of that guy. That, you know, so now he has the rights to those characters, not really doing anything with them. And
I spaced out which characters?
like Sally and all them, like Rotor, however you say it, Antoine.
Really?
Yeah. And that's partially why, and supposedly that's also why they haven't been able to give Sonic and the other characters much of a character, because he's something about owning the rights to like the more dramatic stories. I don't know exactly how that all goes down, but I'm not saying that excuses Sega, that completely excuses Sega having crappy writing in a lot of their future games, but if that's the case, that they can't make any more dramatic stories because of that guy, there's some real problems going on, you know. But apparently a lot of people are really mad at the guy because he's like, no, it's mine. And supposedly he's tried to sue Paramount or someone, whoever, you know, that's involved with the Sonic movie, because they supposedly stole his idea of Knuckles and his like tribe stuff. Or like the way it was set up, and everyone just hates him now. Basically, that seems to be a lot of like celebrities now. Once you get on the online, and like, seems like they get big-headed because everyone praised them at one point, and so they act like, well, if someone else does this, they were clearly copying me, or they're doing this problem, and then they end up becoming hated. I like, it's like how Tom Kenny said, like, he doesn't get on social media because he feels like, he doesn't feel like he should be as, like, a one-man PR thing, But, like, Now, I do think that people are a little overly critical of Butch Hartman.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if he wasn't, like...
Why?
Well, apparently he has, like... I haven't seen everything he said, but, like, supposedly he said some things that people think he shouldn't have said. And, like, to a degree, I understand there's some things he said that, like, maybe he shouldn't have, but, like... At the same time, I don't want to sound like that guy, but I feel like if he wasn't a Christian, he wouldn't get this criticized, You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if he didn't believe it, I don't think he would be as criticized. But I mean, like I said, he has made mistakes and maybe said some things that didn't need saying. But well, see, Sonic agrees with me, but I'm not saying he wouldn't be criticized if he wasn't a believer of God, but like because he is, I think that just adds to it, or that just adds to people criticizing him as much as they do.
People apparently keep reporting the spam Twitter page as spam.
What?
Like the spam Twitter page, people keep reporting it like as website spam because it's spam.
Oh. Spam in the place where I live. Spam in court.
I like spam.
I've never actually had it.
It's pretty good if you bake it. A lot of people fry it. That's good too. You can actually eat spam straight out of the can. It's full of preservatives, but I actually prefer to bake it at 425 for 10 minutes. I mean, like it says in the can, actually. And it comes out pretty good.
What were you doing there? Why were you just floating there? Whole game back. 2 out of 10.
Why do you just float up against the walls like that?
Because why not?
Why can Knuckles glide?
Because why not? It's like, well, it's hard to argue there. Right. Why didn't he glide in the movie, I wonder?
Hmm?
Oh, I think he... Did he glide? I think he glided... Yeah, he did glide a little bit.
Is the past tense of glide glid? It's not really.
Glided?
I guess glided would be it. I like glid. He glid across.
Yeah. Yeah,
Jay!
Second movie was actually superior to the first one.
Oh yeah.
It was definitely... See, what I was trying to understand was, I remember seeing some... I didn't actually watch the reviews, but I remember seeing some reviews, like, video titles, like, Sonic 2 movie was disappointing and blah, 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 blah. And I was like... That was before I saw it, because it was, because it came out first in, like, other parts of the world. But, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, shoot. But then I see the movie, and I'm like, where was the disappointing part? I mean, yeah, it wasn't a perfect movie, of course, but like, I was like, where was the disappointing part? All I saw was a movie that was better than the first one. And I liked the first one. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I liked it. And apparently now it's gotten to the age where, it's gotten to the point where Nickelodeon is now showing it on their channel, on TV. Showing the original Sonic movie. Like, they did say it was the network premiere of it. Network TV premiere of the movie, but now they're showing it, and now I have a feeling I'm going to be seeing too many commercials of it.
To be honest, if they would just give me a cut of Sonic 2 without the wedding thing,
yeah,
it'd be amazing.
Admittedly, the wedding scene was still funny. It just didn't feel like Sonic,
It was just kind of out of place.
It was out of place for the movie, but it was still like. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. I was laughing. And one thing I'm really glad of, this could very well change for the third movie, don't get me wrong, but one thing I'm really glad of is they didn't go woke yet with Sonic, like in the movies at least. And in general, in Sonic, they haven't gone politically stupid yet. They haven't gone woke. And it was really interesting to see on Cartoon Network, or it wasn't necessarily a Cartoon Network show, it was a show that was shown on Cartoon Network with Sonic Boom. How they made Amy a feminist, but they made her the feminist joke and not like the always the voice of reason.
I like when Knuckles would randomly be really smart for a second.
Yeah. Oh yes. You know, Amy, calling to the gender undermines the concept that
It's the only part of Sonic Boom I didn't care for was Sticks.
she was a little. She had some funny
Way
lines.
too retarded.
She had some fun. There were some cringy moments in the show, but
I mean, what was Susie Carmichael doing there?
but like.
She's just a human baby, not some badger or whatever she is. Sticks
I do.
freaking, you know, oxalotl or whatever the heck you call them.
I thought it was funny. Like whenever they were in court, and at one point, and she was saying to like the judge, she said, "Your Holiness" or something like that. I like how they took the court concept, but they just made. When they had the court scenes, like, they just made everyone stupid in that scene, but it was in a funny way. And now you get to fight Team Rose. By the way, a cheat that everyone figured out. Oh, wait, no, you're going to do the special stage first.
I don't remember. Oh, gosh.
you want me to do it?
Yeah. It's too slippery.
It is still too slippery. It's just, you know, I have figured out how to do it better. Everyone always presses it a lot. In some cases it works, but, you know.
What the heck?
Exactly. After figuring that out, it's a lot easier now. But we're not going to try to get all the Chaos Emeralds in this run. If we're going to do the last story, we're going to go to an account where I've already got them, because trying to get them in general, not as bad as some other Sonic games, but
We have to get them as every team, right? Or
No, that was in Sonic Advance 2. That's where they made that mistake.
Sonic Advanced Adventure 2.
Yeah. Sonic Advance 2, if it wasn't for some level designs and the bottomless pits and the way you get the emeralds,
What's the cheap way to beat this fight? I don't remember.
keep using the tornado with Sonic.
Oh, well, now when I'm trying to freaking...
Are you playing with that girl's heart again, Sonic?
Because it'll just knock them all off and...
What the heck?
Oh, wait, there's well...
Jeez, get him!
It's funny, she actually gets like... She's got a very strange fan base. Okay, what is...
Like slugs?
What was that?
Well...
Okay. What?
Yeah, this is probably one of the least tested fights in the game. Like when they were making the game.
This time you're mine.
This time you're mine. It's so funny, like, because there's people that'll have voices that'll just randomly do that.
Jeez, get him. Okay.
Cheese, get him. Cheese, get him.
Okay. Oh, I do not remember.
If you
being
lose again, just let
this
me do
buggy
it.
back in the day. Like, randomly hanging out there.
Well, use Sonic's tornado.
I'm trying, but I can't stand up.
I'm trying.
I keep floating in the air.
Remember that?
And then I keep flying off this... Okay, the GameCube version was not this buggy back in the day. Good lord. Oh. Ow. No, I'm taking one more try.
Alright, just stick with Sonic.
I don't remember it being this hard.
Just stay with Sonic, and as much as you can, do the tornado. I'm not saying it's a perfect way, it just mostly works for the most part. Sometimes. Maybe not at all, right?
That was not this hard in the PS2 version either.
Are you a horse?
Yeah.
Are you a horsey now?
Okay. I don't even know how that just happened. Wait, what did y'all even do?
Throw rings.
Throw rings.
Uh-huh.
Throw rings.
That's what all the flight characters do. Jeez, God. It was really interesting. So, in Sonic Adventure 2, Rouge was like the opposite to Knuckles. Like,
So
you know, like
buggy. So freaking buggy.
Playing with that girl's heart again, Sonic.
There.
there we go.
So freaking buggy. I'm gonna have to go back and play the PS2 version now just to see if it was this buggy on that console.
No way!
Did you say marriage?
Yeah, because Amy said something about marrying her.
Aren't they like 12 in this game?
Well, yeah, they decided they were 12 apparently, and only in this game apparently. Casino Park.
Casino.
Casino Park.
Casino Park. Sorry, Casino Park.
He sure doesn't give up that easy.
What is this place?
Honestly, what I want to see, if they ever decide to like remake these games,
Okay, let's
what they should do, instead of making, like if they decide to make all new lines, instead of making all new lines, they just need to copy the Japanese script. I looked at the Japanese like script in English, and I was like, wow, this sounds so much better. Well, not sound, but this would be so much better if the English people just copied the Japanese script.
I'll take care of that.
What's so different?
Well, it's just that the writing in general just is better, and it's also the same case with it's the same thing with Shadow the Hedgehog. The writing was better there. Now, granted, we wouldn't have the cheesy lines we love today from Shadow the Hedgehog, but you know, how many lives do we? Okay, we have plenty of lives right now. I do have to agree with more people on these stages. These are not very good stages when you're actually on the pinball things. Because for a game where it's supposed to encourage you to go fast, they didn't do a good job here. Of course, I mean, it was inevitable that they were going to have a pinball section because nearly every Sonic game up to that point had a pinball section, so of course they were going to do it here.
The cannon was invented in the year 1260, and it shows the thing from One Piece of some really big buff guy throwing cannonballs. You know, for people before 1260.
Yeah. Is that when that show takes place? Is the early?
No, apparently they got some like TVs and stuff.
Oh.
It's like one of those where it's a weird mix of technologies. I like the memes that are just subtle history jokes, where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, because the standard ones are like, you know, this was invented in the year 1860, so then they'll show a clip from 1859.
Yeah.
You know, or, you know, people in 1859. Well, you know, in BC, obviously, you would do, like, you know, the year 1200 BC. Well, then to go back a year, you would do the year 1201 BC.
Yeah.
But the joke on the thing is, like, you know, this was invented in 1200 BC, and then people in 1199 BC, and they have the thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, people that forget that BC, you have to go backwards.
Yeah. That's what BC stands for, backwards somehow.
Shut up. Yes.
Backwards.
BC stands for before Christ, and AD stands for after death.
I've heard somewhere
It doesn't.
that, like,
It stands for Anno Domini.
I thought I heard somewhere that
It's-
AD doesn't mean after death.
It doesn't. It's Anno Domini in the year of our Lord. It's Latin.
Oh. Because I remember hearing that in middle school.
It's
and I was
from
like,
when he was born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Anno Domini in the year of our Lord.
Actually, I should have saved that in case I happen to lose my team. So.
Like, get the...
Too cool.
Yeah, wait, you get the key.
Ander, I'm not... Well, I guess if we want to do the bonus thing.
Just as I
Not the Chaos Emerald, but this is just for the bonus.
You don't want to get the Chaos Emerald?
Ander, that's not for... That's on... This is the first stage. This isn't the second stage.
Yeah, but I still want to get the Chaos Emerald.
Andrew, it's not... This isn't for the Chaos Emeralds. For...
I know, but I still want to get the Chaos Emeralds.
But Mom... I don't know.
But Mom... Hey, this isn't Sonic Spinball.
Right, it controls a little better.
Sonic Spinball doesn't control
It doesn't control that, but no, if we're talking about the Game Gear version, that one's just complete hot trash, but... That was the thing about a lot of Game Gear games. Like, there were, like, a few good ones, but then there were a lot of just, like, really bad ones. And it's also it's if you wanted to play the good ones, I'm trying to get that switch there because it unlocks a certain room, but I don't know if I can. Guess we'll see. That was a bad thing about this. It's like you're trying to control them, they just go wherever. It feels like they just go wherever they want to and avoid where you're trying to go. Like right now, it's just avoiding. It is kind of a small switch, so and I've got a small character, so you know, but still.
Small character.
Small character design. Or
Character.
character model. But apparently in these games, it's actually, you have to focus on more than just getting the best time. You have to also focus on how many rings you got at the end, how many points you have in general. But I here's the thing, I love Sonic on a casual run. I almost never try to fully complete these games, because that can be a nightmare on what all they want you to do to fully complete these games. Also, I'm not a big fan of time trials in not racing games, because the times they want you to get can be really absurd for a game that's like, you know,
Something's up there.
See, like if I had flipped the switch up there, I would have been able to go up there. I'm sure there's a way to get up there without having to do that. Let me see if I can do that. Let's go.
Excuse me.
Whee. Okay, well, whatever. That's right, smart.
Right. Dog.
So I think, how long have we been playing this now?
I don't know. Sure, there's
Sylvester.
some kind of indicator on the computer that would tell us. I just don't know where it is.
Yeah. Can you let Sylvester in? If he's one in. But yeah, we could have gone to that golden VIP thing if I had gotten that, you know.
All right.
Sylvester. Let's see. So that TV, I've gotten a newer TV, well, newer as in new to me, TV to be as a monitor for my computer, so that like whenever I play games on it, it'll be better looking.
Yeah.
Yes,
And I know that you've said that like it looks better on a smaller screen for like doing computer stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, despite being in some ways a little fuzzier, it's not that bad. It's actually worked out pretty well for me. So what I'm saying is you're wrong, and now it's your turn to play Bingo Highway. You're wrong. Mixing bingo with pinball. You didn't see Mario doing that. No. What did you know? Oh, he knocked the toothbrush down. So they have a toothbrush to brush Sylvester. Because apparently cats actually do like being brushed by a toothbrush. Like not their teeth, of course, but like their fur.
I'll try to switch tails.
Daddy.
That robot with a searchlight detects us. He'll call others to come.
The deuce joke about the others. I can do them too.
Level up. Yeah, and again, like you can't always like switch or
Glitchy.
Even to me, Sonic.
So
Right now, glitches.
yeah.
Not bad.
I could talk like I think it's Zach. It sounds like this on Audio Plays. I don't think he's trying to do it on purpose. I think he actually has some problem where he just sounds like that. Unless they're doing it and they're doing it as a joke and they just kept it up, keep it character.
Dang it.
Don't go there. You'll be lost.
Okay,
will.
well, I tried to move out of the...
Yeah.
Oh, that just happened. Oh. Just to move back. Well, like, I... Oh.
Go back to the switch back there.
Okay.
The camera's awful in this game. Well, when it comes to like, because every time you move the stick camera, it'll just, it'll like randomly go in first person mode, and then it takes a minute whenever you're moving for it to go back.
Shaw.
See, here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize how much they actually improved on the Sonic Heroes gameplay in Shadow the Hedgehog. And what I mean is like the movement and everything. And I think that was also the thing is that like Shadow the Hedgehog actually had some really good level design. Not perfect.
Not the one you have to find all the Chaos clones.
Well, no, like some of the missions were pretty bad, but that one and the Mad Matrix level with the shoot, where you have to blow up all the bombs. That one was pretty awful too. But the game in general, let me put it this way: when you're trying to get everything, the game can get pretty bad. But when you're just playing it all the way to at least the last story and all that stuff, it's a fun game. And arguably the most controversial.
Tails was trapped and now he's not.
Yeah. Well, that's how you do it. Other than killing it, but killing the robot.
Wait, it had trapped Tails?
Yeah, it actually trapped Tails, but
I didn't even realize that.
I think it's either that or he fell off the pinball
I think
thing.
he felt the pinball thing.
Well, anyway, so in Shadow the Hedgehog, I think we'll play. I think maybe we'll just play this through to like to the after we beat the fourth. You missed it.
Just what?
The checkpoint.
Oh. Wait, I don't even have my key anymore.
Oh, you got hit. That's how
Wait.
you lose it.
Like the Chaos Emerald key?
Yeah.
What kind of balls is that?
Evidently the Crash 4 team must have taken from that. No, not from the getting hit, but from, if you... Anyway, not getting into that game. I like that game, but good lord. Anyway, shoot. Shadow the Hedgehog. Like, arguably the most controversial thing about that game was the best thing about that game, which was the use of weapons. Look at all those Eggman's robots. But yeah, that was like the best thing about that game, and also I really appreciated this one guy because he actually defended Shadow the Hedgehog in a way that I've never really heard anyone do it before. Not like that he just is obsessed with it and he thinks there's nothing wrong. He actually analyzed it in a way that like made a lot more sense. And I didn't quite agree with him when he said that he actually liked it better than the adventure games. But to each their own. But like I think it's I think Shadow the Hedgehog gets way too much hate. Like, there's been some people who say it's worse than Sonic 06, and I'm like, that's a false statement. But,
06.
Boom 06,
I think I
06
can get some
Boom.
down here. If I can get down there.
And then there's randomly a bunch of these.
Dude, can I go and throw the back?
Boing. No. Boing. Boing. That's your check bouncing, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, where's your check at? And you just show a gif of this. Boing.
Messed up.
Anyway, Mario walks into a bar.
Where's the switch to turn the door?
It's like you have to like fly.
Well, I tried to switch
Yeah.
to Tails, and instead Knuckles decided to punch.
Yeah. See, you went back this far because you missed the checkpoint from before.
There's bingo on the table.
Yeah.
Fun is just about to begin.
Anyway, as you can tell, folks, Andrew's gonna make this go out a little longer. How could you have not known all the controls perfectly after not playing it since you were a teenager?
It's been at least 13 years since I've played this game.
Anyway, so yeah, going back to Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow walks into a bar. Damn.
A dyslexic person walks into a brawl.
Andrew, you're being ableist. That term is
And that's fine.
that term is so stupid. I've known plenty of people who, I mean, like, there's probably been plenty of like handicapped people that would probably laugh at like jokes on handicapped people. I've known a lot. I've noticed that a
I
lot.
don't mind being called ableist. I also don't mind saying words like faggot or midget.
Yeah.
Which apparently midget became an offensive term.
Yeah.
Instead of just a description of someone being abnormally short. Frick.
I've known plenty of people that were short that laugh at those jokes. They probably some of them make those jokes. I've known plenty of.
I thought midget was literally just the term for years.
Yeah, I know. That was
but
like
people who weren't midgets started getting offended for midgets. It never really made a lot of sense. To
yeah,
me.
I know. Well, see, like.
But you know what? I'm still gonna say midget. I'm not gonna say
There's-
little people. That's freaking dumb.
Yeah.
Like they're little, but they're a midget.
That's like
Or
that's
a
the
dwarf.
proper. That's the actual term. It's not like a racial slur or anything. It's the actual term for
I'm
them.
upset. You're calling me little people. Well, you're a midget. You're normally short. Okay. Did I say you were dumb or lesser for it? No, it's just what you are. It's like you call me fat. Like, yeah, I'm fat.
That's a fact. It's not.
Yep, it's a fact.
But see, like also like I remember seeing the clip from Looney Tunes where he was like shooting like Native American people, like, well, back when they call them like Indians and stuff.
American Indians, yeah. It is funny that we call them Indians because Columbus thought he was an Indian.
Yeah, I mean that was the only reason, but like. What I mean is, like, when they were calling them Indians and stuff, and, like, Bugs Bunny was, like, when he was shooting them and stuff,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Little two,
little
three,
thing, yeah, like that, and then like,
so
he
messed up.
used the term, he said that one was a half-breed or something like that, he said breed, and I'm sure that probably upset a lot of people, but, like,
No, half-breed may have.
but, like, here's the thing, though, I looked in the comments. Or I'm sure some people would pretend like they're offended by that, I should say.
Half-breed would just mean half American Indian, half not,
Yeah.
in that context.
Yeah. But anyway, and so he like marked it as like a half a kill, half a point. But like, anyway, I looked in the comments and there was a Native American person there that said, as a Native American, I found this hilarious. And it makes me think, just how many people actually laugh at jokes that are supposedly on them and stuff. And I'm just like, like, not that people should just always say racial slurs and stuff as a joke all the time, but like, it makes me think about some of the stuff. Not like actually using racial slurs, but I mean like, you know, using like some joke on them and like.
I do love a good racial stereotype joke, so.
That's what I mean. Like, you know, you have a joke, and then there's people that are like of the race that they're talking about
Man, keeps his money.
that laugh. So it makes me think a lot of the people that say it's offensive are probably just letting it be offensive to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, in a mass majority of the time, you're as offended as you choose to be.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta
I
say.
mean, the before he went, you know, cock mode, iDub said yes. Black people can choose to be offended by black slurs. Asian people can choose to be offended by Asian slurs. White people can be offended by black slurs.
Yeah, it's like that was a good one. Like
that was beautiful.
Yeah. So like I said, like you know, like I said, you're as, you know, you're as offended. It seems like you're as offended as you choose to be. Let yourself be, whatever. I understand if there's like actual like trauma from someone, they hear a word and it just kind of brings back bad memories. That's one thing. It brings back like post-traumatic stuff, but like that could technically work without
the word pancake or something.
Yeah, like you could just say pancake.
It's a little weird. I mean, I guess now, you know, Blumhouse presents Pancake.
Yeah, then you're just like, oh my gosh. Oh yeah. But
they're actually decently long levels.
Yeah, I know.
Like for a game that really does have a lot of going fast, they're long levels.
Yeah.
Oh frick! Oh frick!
Yeah. It's partially because some of it is the combat. It takes up a
Oh
little
man!
bit.
Oh jeez! Oh gosh! Oh crap! No, why?
This is. Oh, see if Knuckles got on. Okay. So try, if you can, try not to have try to keep at least one character up there without going through that, because
how do I do that?
It's a little hard, but it is possible. You gotta angle it just right, which you did. I think Sonic is still up there, unless we see a thing like what Tails has right now, and then, you know. But anyway, yeah, no one likes these pinball levels in this game. They're pretty bad. Okay, well, Sonic must have gone on it because he's crossed out now.
Dang it!
Bingo!
It's a little more nerve-wracking.
Well, like I said, the boost formula did improve on some things, like how when you go to the side, you don't fly off to the side. But it just most of the time it just feels too automated. Now Sonic Forces really implemented
This is a really, really weird perspective, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Bingo!
Sonic.
So I got Team Blast.
Sonic Forces.
Wait, if I use Team Blast, I can. I'm not
let me
going to.
finish.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I use Team Blast, I can recover them.
Yeah, but you're not going to be on a solid ground anymore at this point because the goal ring's right there. Now you gotta get to the goal ring.
Doo-doo.
Sonic Forces, I mean, it absolutely matches the name because that game
Forces you in one direction.
Yes. Sonic Forces is probably the most automated of the boost formula. And that's saying something.
But Sonic and the Black Knight, it's the greatest Sonic game ever made.
At least that one has something to it more. I mean, I guess you could say technically the most automated Sonic game would be something like Sonic and the Secret Rings, or Sonic Dash, but those were kind of built around that stuff. They weren't very good, but, you know. Or, well, Sonic and the Secret Rings wasn't very good, but...
I know who I want to take me home.
And now we're at Special Stage Free. I know a friend of mine used to say free as instead of 3, but this is like when we were in elementary school.
Well, that's because elementary school kids are dumb. Do you
Yep.
have an elementary school kid? I bet they're dumb.
Let's see. Do you have? Let's see. That's because kids are stupid.
Do you have a
Do you
kid?
have a kid? I'll bet they're
They're
stupid. I don't know what it was. I don't know at all what it was. But for some odd reason, the third Chaos Emerald in this game, when I was as a kid, when I had it on PS2, I could never get the third Chaos Emerald until like I started a new account for some reason.
The Chaos Emerald.
Yes. And for some odd reason, I could never get the third one. It was the hardest one to get. I even got all the others afterwards. Is there a third or fourth? One of those. And I couldn't do it for some reason.
I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home.
And he's like this.
I know who's going to win. Get them.
Look at Metal Sonic or Eggman.
Come on, Eggman.
Again, I don't care about spoiling this game. A lot of people have already let's played this game. This game's like
You've ruined it. I had no idea. I thought that was Dr. Wily.
I'll say.
Sonic Cross Mega Man, the game. Oh, make it with those dive games.
Good lord. Yeah, that like at first I thought it was exciting the way Mega Man X Dive was, but
Too cool.
then like
That and like a lot of more anime inspired indie games that come out of stuff like Switch and PS4.
yeah,
Who's playing those?
evidently someone's playing them.
They're
Apparently,
trash, but who's playing them?
kids who don't know better. You know you could do that.
What?
There is a bit too much talking in this game, I will say. I don't agree with people that when they say like they act like every time Sonic talks it's too much talking, but I feel like there is a bit too much talking in this game.
I know who I
Apparently-
want to take me home.
Apparently, okay, so supposedly it's some kind of like culture or like a cultural thing for anime type things, like games and stuff. You notice just about every move they make make a noise. Well, apparently that's just a thing in Japan and like stuff like that. Like in these fighting games that are Japanese anime stuff.
Yeah.
They're like every punch they make. Yeah, take that. They might say like the same thing over and over. Take that. Yeah, let's see. Take that. This, that. This, that. Food, do.
Food, do.
Yeah. So.
That, this.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, that was the thing. That's apparently a thing, and like, there's something about that. Where like, cause like when every time you punch, his knuckles like shit, rock, whatever he's saying. Don't get too excited.
Don't get too excited, boys. Those were the easy ones.
I like how he says that even to Team
Those
Rose.
are the easy ones.
Don't get too excited, boys. Those are the easy ones. So apparently Kirby in like Japan and stuff does not have a gender,
Who?
or it's gender unknown Kirby.
Oh, sure.
But it's like apparently it's only like outside of Japan and stuff is when he's actually considered a guy. Oh yeah, it's your turn. So yeah, once we beat the boss in this zone, we'll
Remember when we thought this was going to be the end of the game, or like the story mode, because how
Yeah.
it acts in the second stage?
yeah, I know.
Accelerate and left thumbstick.
Oh yeah, be careful when you switch rails here because it can get pretty bad.
What do you mean?
Like you could just randomly fly off the rails. It won't register you switching rails. It'll just fly off.
Like it'll keep me on my current rail, or I'll just fly off because it's like
It'll keep. All right,
I
so
don't
you'll
believe in you switching rails.
essentially this is the latter. Like okay, so if you're okay, if you're on a rail, if you just stay on that rail, you're fine. But like if you're switching rails, there's a chance that they'll just like have you fly off.
But the game compiled and ran, and the level was beatable.
So it just that's apparent. That's according to a developer or tester or something of the game.
Oh, I believe it. I totally believe it.
Okay.
I have noticed so much coming out about like the people who are making the game, like coming out from developers of games, of like criticizing what they were, like the company that wanted this game worked on and stuff, or these games in general. Here's
It's
my
taken a long time for people to realize how much you need to respect software developers.
Yeah, here's my fear though. My fear is that there's going to be those people that will take advantage of that and make something that was not as bad, or just make up a. And there's also that problem.
Shaw.
What like one thing that that I'm afraid of. It's like when the Me Too thing came out. That like you actually had some people actually coming out and there were some that were truth, and now you've got, but now there's a lot of people, not right now, but like it hasn't been as big now.
See,
but
like the idea of like Me Too isn't like coming out and being like, yeah, a crime was committed and I was too scared to say a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, totally. Let's deal with that situation. This bad stuff.
Yeah.
But like when I first heard of Me Too, I saw it and like the very first thing I saw is like, oh, people have been like this, and I saw some friends. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so terrible. I never knew that about you. But then I found out that the idea is, put it, if you've been, bad thing here, or catcalled, or had something, basically, had like, a sexualized word said to you. Like, I'm like, what, like that sucks, but that's not on par with, the terrible
being
things
raped
that
or
can.
something?
Yeah, that's not on par with that in the slightest. Like, don't include it in the same movement.
Because I mean,
All you've done is water down the actual bad things.
Yeah.
That's the problem there.
That's my fear for
all
like.
that does is.
Like that's my fear for the when the developers are all coming. I'm hoping that it's, well, in a way, I'm hoping it's all true and they're not just trying to make something out of nothing just to get attention. That's what I'm afraid of. That like there's going to be some former developers that are going to say something that either didn't happen or very much exaggerated. You know what I mean? That's what I'm afraid of. So watch out for the trains.
Trains have some freaky faces.
I know. Well, I think part of it is just it comes at you so fast and it's so big. And watch out here. You gotta go over there.
Kind of wow. I just wanted to look at it.
I just
wanted to see the
great.
shoot.
I don't know.
Okay. All I'm trying to do is light dash.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to play the game. I just want to play the game. Something that EXO said one time. EXO Paradigm Gamer. He was saying like, it's like they were talking about something like the way people criticize some things and like, but then like the way they criticize them and stuff, and then like he makes a joke.
Okay.
That's another problem is that the flight characters, whenever they run out of their flight thing, they just drop like a rock. Like you don't even have any real momentum. You just like, almost immediately you're just. But anyway, so they're criticizing, they're talking about something. Him and some friends were there doing a let's play, and he was like, and Michael goes, I don't want to play the game. I just want to play the game. Like whenever he's like, it's supposed to be like he's imitating people, but like he uses that voice, and it's just funny. It's so funny. Michael, if you happen to hear this, I mean, it's believe me, it's just it's no offense at all. It's just funny.
Does he actually like see any of your videos?
I don't know. Just in case though, if he does. I mean, I know he's busy a lot, but like I remember like we were watching a video and our mom comes in the room and like we hear him talking and stuff, and then like when my mom saw what he looks like and she's like, wait, that voice is coming out of him or something like that, because I guess Michael looks so young or something, so she was just like, wait, that's him. So maybe it's a compliment. This was like a few years ago, so
Yeah, now you look like an old piece of crap.
jeez.
What about the Kentucky Hills of Tennessee?
The Kentucky Hills of Tennessee.
Want a race?
Mystery Science Theater was something else, and Rift Tracks is something else. It's the same. It's just about the same as Mystery Science Theater, but you know, the same concept.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Instead of Bill, I do kind of wish he'd kept Trace. You know, who used to play Crow.
Well, Bill's funny, but
Wow, I am just right behind that track. Oh my good sweet goodness.
we get the checkpoint. Okay, just in case you fall off for the game. But we can beat the level, so it's okay. That's just funny. In a way, it's funny logic.
I get it, because sometimes it's just like, don't worry about that edge case, just get the code out the door.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good, and it's not really a practice that we do where I work anymore,
Yeah.
but like, that's definitely a thing in the world of software.
Oh. Do you guys know that Tails' head is spinning? You like that pop in that happened?
Damn.
Same. Look at Tails.
No, I'm on the rail. Look at Sonic over there.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Tails is doing the same thing before they scooted over. Yeah, this game, the momentum of this game is all out of whack sometimes. Anyway,
How about the fact that they made the friggin' creepiest
train look.
train look ever?
You know, we've been really critical of this game so far, as much as we say we like it. But I mean, that's why we're so critical. We like it. No, some people just. A lot of people, at least in the early days of the YouTube review craze, overly criticize stuff because it was funnier to criticize stuff. That's what I'm starting to think now, is like, because I've noticed that like even YouTubers that did overly criticize these games back in the day are now seem a little more appreciative, unless they're just trying to line up with their audience. They seem a little more appreciative of these games now. They're not saying that they're just perfect games now, but they're just saying like they like them more now. Like I'm pretty sure when I saw this Ant Dudes, I can't remember if I ever watched this Shadow the Hedgehog review from years ago.
What the heck is that?
I can't remember if I watched this Shadow the Hedgehog review from years ago, but he actually came out and said that the game doesn't suck, or he says he actually kind of likes it. And I can't really tell for sure if he actually does, or if he's just mainly trying to like please his audience that probably criticized him or something. I will say this about Sonic games. There is a reason some of them get their reputation. There's a reason why Sonic 06 got his reputation in the first place.
What was that?
But I know.
Like a Family Guy. What was that?
Yeah. Let's see, gosh, older Family Guy. Like, the way they would deliver some of the lines on there, it was so great.
Scary. I mean, this love these designs.
Scary.
Scary.
Watch them have like they had like some sort of, yeah. Like they had, watch them like they had like some sort of like beta version, and it was like even more terrifying or something, or something that was like unsettling about it or something.
The PS1 graphics or something.
Yeah.
There was a beta version, so how was this good in PS5 that ran on the original Xbox?
We say PS5 now because that is the current one as of this video.
The current one that no one can find.
Oh yeah.
And it's got a price hike.
Oh yeah, in Japan and Europe and stuff. Yeah, they increased the price. So
how do I do that?
I think that helped my decision in wanting to stick with getting I may get the Series X now instead of the. As of this video, I don't have either.
How do I get that way? This is still the first level, though.
Yeah, Andrew, don't jump. Just let it be. Just let it go.
Let it be. I was gonna try to get the key, and I realized I don't need it.
Yeah, this is the first stage, not the second stage.
I do have
But again,
I do have the memory of a goldfish.
I do have the memory of a goldfish. I do have the memory of a goldfish.
I do have the memory of a goldfish. First time I said that today.
I do have the memory of a goldfish. First time I said that today. I'm also part parrot. I don't know.
I was waiting for a glitch where I just ran under the ring for some reason and fell off the stage.
Just enough to pass.
Just enough to pass. That was the logic of making this game. Just enough to pass. So I got this game called Full Auto. I don't know if you all know about it. I've had the second one. So it was a weird case.
Yes, we're heading in the right direction.
This wasn't the first game to do this, or it wasn't the first series to do this, but if you call it a series, because there's only 2 games. But I guess you could technically call it a series. But anyway, so I got this. I've been trying to find the first one, and I remember one time I actually found it at a store. It wasn't in a desired case, but as long as the game worked, that was fine. Well, the game didn't work, so I took it back. And then I ended up finding it at another store the other day, the first Full Auto. And I was like, okay, I'll get it there. Okay, so before I continue that, I forgot to mention what I meant by what the game did. So the first game was Xbox 360 exclusive. The second game was PS3 and PSP exclusive, which made no sense.
Which game?
Oh, Full Auto and Full Auto 2. The first one was 360 exclusive, and the sequels was PlayStation exclusive. But anyway, when I found it at the second store I went to, and it still didn't work, I started to realize something.
Yeah.
It looked a lot like this. It looked a lot like the same copy that I got that didn't work from the store that I got it from. So I'm wondering. I mean, it wasn't. It was in the same state, so, but still, like, it's just it. It makes me think that like someone bought it from the store I got it from, and then sold it to McKay's, and now they were selling it. And one thing I never really got was why these used game stores, like at least the ones I've been to, where I'll get a game, it doesn't work, so I take it back, I'll go back, and the same copy's on the shelves.
Probably just because they realize they can't fix it, and if they can trick someone into getting it.
Yeah, but if they take it back anyway, what's the point?
Because what if they don't test it for months? They can't take it back.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. It's just a scummy move.
Why did you test games before they accept them?
That's what okay, so that's what. Oh yeah, before they accept them. But what I was gonna say was I generally test my games whenever I get them. Like when I first get them, even if it's like the next day, I still test them. I don't understand the people who just, unless they just absolutely don't have time. I don't understand the people that just will not play their games for months. They'll have it and then they won't even like test it or anything. I never got that.
Oh, I've done that. But what I don't understand are people that will buy a movie and it will be on their shelf for years and never even got unwrapped.
Our parents.
No, they just buy movies and then still wait for them to come on TV to watch it. and say, yeah, I wish I'd come on. If It could come on if you just put it in the DVD player. Here's what else I don't understand.
What's that?
Blu-ray has been a thing since 2006. Why are DVDs still popular? And why do we still have these Blu-ray DVD sets?
You know what's funny is that I actually got Sonic, the Sonic 2 movie.
Yeah.
It actually didn't come with a DVD copy. All it had was the Blu-ray and the digital code
Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray. It only had the Blu-ray and the digital code.
It's really steep here.
And that's all it had.
It's really steep here. Be careful.
Oh
Really steep here. Be careful.
But of course, I think obviously the reason we're still getting physical stuff is because people want to be able to keep their movies. Same thing with games. The only problem with games is a lot of them now are just like, well, we're gonna have day one patches,
Just so you can't.
just to encourage you to get and have constant updates, so that you'll have to buy. You'll pretty much just want to buy the. We're just gonna put like 1/8 of the game on the actual disc and have the rest be. Well, the rest of it on the disc is for installing.
Literally, the only actual game file on the disc is a hidden image of a middle finger.
It seems that
A
way.
hand holding up a middle finger.
Level up. Yes.
It just seems that way.
Yes.
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 Chess. I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
So like,
Yes.
okay, so here's my thing is that
Yes.
is that there are occasional games that will not have updates. Like, okay, so Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, as of this recording, as far as I know of, no day one patches. Only a tiny amount of installing happened of like the game installing. It only took a tiny amount of space, and there hasn't been any updates since. And the game works fine.
Here we go.
So I was really glad to see that about Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. On top of like the game's actually being a really good game.
Kirby and the gay moose.
Let's jump to the car.
That's what the game is going to be now.
Yes.
Kirby and the moose that's at high risk from other
Good
cars.
lord. So,
Are there more of these trans?
look at these trained sexuals,
Trannies.
trainees.
Yes.
You can't say trainees anymore, I guess. Now. Anyway, so,
Carrie. Carrie. You can do the voice.
Harry.
Carrie.
So you know what's funny is that like, yeah, I know, and that's the end of that. No. What's funny is that
Shaw!
yeah, is that I heard the term people look to be offended by something from Weird Al, and he almost never gets into politics.
Weird Owl.
And I applaud Weird Al for that, because he realizes that he could potentially lose half his audience if he were to like say one way or the other about his. It shouldn't really be that way, but you know.
What was it? So let's pull out our cell phones at the concert. Let's all something about our cell phones.
Oh yeah, like I can't remember what it was. You know what's really interesting about this is that they mention about what happens when Sonic and Tails fall off the bobsled. They never, or you know, the speed character and the flight character. They never say what happens when the power character goes off. But you never lose. If you lose the flight character, you lose. In general, you lose a life. Because the flight character.
Because it can't jump.
Yeah.
Slide.
Yeah.
Jump.
So like, here's what they should have said.
Jump.
They should have said if you know, Speed character name falls off falls off, then you'll lose momentum or you'll lose the speed. If power character falls off, you won't get to move. You know, and if blah blah blah. So that's something they should have said, but instead they went with if flight character falls off, it won't be able to jump.
Straight ahead of us. All right, here we go.
Which I mean that's technically true, but
If you jump, slide,
I love this game.
jump.
Got it. Here we go. Yeah.
I've actually said that about games I actually do really like, but like whenever I die, if I'm getting irritated at it in some old playthroughs, I'm like, gosh, I love this game.
I have a friend I play volleyball with on Mondays, and
Not bad.
when she's on the other team and I mess up, she just goes, "You're doing a great job, bestie." Lord love her. So now when she messes up, I do the same thing to her.
Sonic, good.
That
No!
thing's loaded with
Sonic Club. What?
Man, you're
Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's coming at. Okay, I'm gonna wrap the tap X like it's doing right now.
There's only one way to go. Ready?
I thought this was the end of the campaign when we were younger.
Yeah, I know. Well, I
I
mean,
forgot what
it's
to do here.
it seemed like it came full circle because like that was the first boss, but it's bigger and faster and stronger
Okay,
now. I don't think you're doing damage to it right now.
I'm not, but I'm keeping alive over the rails.
Oh, like that lady from that newbie thing. All right. That lady from that newbie thing. She did. I really didn't expect her to have that kind of laugh at all. Where she's like, ah, or something like that.
I'm Fran Drescher.
I mean, that's definitely a case of the joke on Family Guy of dating a hot. Well, she wasn't hot, but like dating an attractive girl with a really bad laugh, basically.
All right. One down.
Now we gotta.
She looked a little out of our age range. Not saying she looked old.
What was the movie? Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Before like
Yeah.
before like the previews start. We went to a Fathom event and saw the Dragon Ball Super movie last week.
Actually, went to two Fathom events because we also saw Rift Tracks.
Oh yeah, we did.
Is that
Let's see.
Yeah, Rift. It seems like Rift Tracks. Well, okay, I have seen some movies.
Yeah,
but-
for the most part, like other than lame Marvel movies I've only seen with friends, pretty much every movie I've been to in the past few years has been a Rift Tracks event or a Dragon Ball Z movie.
I know. Of course, we've seen the Sonic movies, and those are good.
Oh yeah. That's what I said for the most part.
Yeah.
ready?
We also saw the Mortal Kombat movie. It was fine. It was. It had good action scenes. I'll say that. You
What
had no
the day
rings.
was that?
You had no rings.
What the at high risk for monkeypox was that? You like that?
Ready?
Listen, I'm already not monetized. I don't care.
Oh come on!
I don't monetize my videos, so just jokes on you if you try to if you think any sponsors are gonna like drop out of this. Like jokes on you. I don't
What,
even
for saying
monetize.
what I say?
Yeah.
Ah, good.
I'll just.
I'm offending people using things that aren't even offensive.
Well, here's the thing. I bet you. Here's one thing I'm wondering. I bet you because we're smaller. I mean, compared to like other channels and stuff, like even my main channel that has the most amount. That
This is
has
freaking dumb. Why?
I know.
Why is this working? I'll
Up
pay
until-
you some rings.
Anyway,
What the balls was that?
well, because you were in the line of fire there.
There's only one way to go.
So,
Ready?
so the
we're not looking very ready, are we?
anyway, I'm wondering, like, okay, so it makes me wonder if people try to cancel someone when they're big and they act offended over them, because we have smaller channels now. Even my channel that has the most amount of subscribers only has like 400 something subscribers. which is my just some gameplay channel thing, and my main channel has like 250 something as of right now.
Oh, come on.
And then this
How
channel
did I do so well that first time?
I don't know. And then this channel that has well, remember, he may randomly start to aim at the robots on the ground or, you know, flying ones. Anyway, so my main channel. Anyway, I wonder if someone sees it that would normally say they'd be offended by it. I wonder if they'll be like, not worry about it because I'm not a big channel at all.
Well, no one's gonna see it because you're
Yeah.
not a huge channel.
Yeah, no one's gonna, like... Well, what I mean is, like, it makes me wonder if the same person would... If I ever got big or something, if someone would try to say that I said this and
Okay.
should cancel me and
How
blah,
did that
blah,
throw
blah.
me sideways?
So that also makes me... That goes to my theory of I bet people who say they're offended by something are also just trying to get attention. Because they're trying to take down someone big. Like, it's not fun for them to take down someone who's... It doesn't... You know, it doesn't get them as much attention if they try to take down someone who's smaller. So, you know, it makes me wonder about that sometimes. Like I wonder if Butch Hartman wasn't as big, if some of these others that have been like some of the ones who have been unjustly canceled and stuff like that. Like the one, like if they weren't as big anyway, it makes me wonder if they were if they would get canceled.
Well, I guess I'm glad I didn't, like, you know, just fall over, but what the heck was that?
It's this game.
Okay, wait. I was able to do that. There we go. I was able to do that earlier. Golly, there's a lot of hit points there.
Retreat. This also sounds like he's saying, he's like, oh, right. Eggman's getting away! You know, if you wait back, he'll just come to you. Well, whatever.
I may be regretting doing this to this thing. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. He just keeps saying it over. Oh, right. Or whatever he's saying. If you hang back, he'll come to you. He'll like fly at you pretty fast, but watch out for his lasers.
You don't want to be in the
I was thinking of that. I was supposed to say that.
Okay. What kind of
Use
retarded-
Tails. Well, okay, you might need to level up for Tails, but for it to really work.
Really, if I could just take care of the robots. As long as I
He
can
just
sit-
went off to the side.
Okay. Why am I not getting on the frickin'... Ah. There. So if I could just take care of the robots.
So here's what I've realized about
Do I have to
most.
take care of all this parts here?
Just take care of the main part, you'll be done. You'll pay for this. And then we get another CGI cutscene.
Another Sajid.
Suggest cut scheme.
Eggman, you know you can't win.
Eggman, you know you can't well run. Sonic Generations is extremely generous with their ranking system because you could mess up and have like no rings at the end and everything, and you take like 10 minutes to get through the level, and you can still get like a B or an A or something rank. It's a fake. Drats.
Did you say drats?
That's what the subtitle said.
Oh, but he said drat.
Yeah, he said. I think he just said drat, but drats.
All life-form data successfully.
This was like the coolest Metal Sonic in any Sonic game.
True though.
I mean, like, so we didn't grow up with Sonic CD, The only time we really saw Metal Sonic was maybe it wouldn't be Sonic Adventure because we played this before.
I think it's
Sonic
time
Adventure.
to call it for the
Well, yeah, I was about to. I'm just saying that, like, so we didn't have quite the same impact of that Metal Sonic reappear in this game, but I feel like there were probably people that were like, "Oh my gosh, Metal Sonic!" You know, like if there were streamers back then, they would do all that. Well, anyway, that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and go ahead and like and subscribe, and if you haven't already. And do you have any parting words?
I think so. Oh yeah. Guys, don't forget to have a barbecue with the boys. All right, brats before thoughts.
Good message to go off of. Bye.